The main cast for the Netflix live-action adaptation of One Piece has finally been announced, and believe it or not, they actually look pretty great.
Guess what? I'm gonna be playing Luffy!
But I'll be playing Zoro.
I am so beyond excited to be playing Nami in One Piece.
And I'm playing Usopp.
I'm very excited to be playing Sanji.
Now, looking great and being great are completely different things, but as a diehard One Piece fan myself, I've been following the production and news of this live-action telling of my favorite fictional story since the very beginning, and I'm going to tell you all overall a comprehensive list of the promising stuff, the concerning stuff, and why overall, even if I maybe, possibly, potentially could regret it later on, I'm actually pretty optimistic about this project. I know expressing any kind of interest or excitement or enthusiasm about a live-action version of our precious anime that nobody asked for is pretty taboo in the fan culture, but we need to take it all the way back to 2017, and more specifically the 20th anniversary of One Piece, to really understand why I've had cautious optimism for this series since the beginning. In the last 20 years, the conversation about a live-action adaptation has come up many times. I decided to go forward with the adaptation about 3 years ago. There were many twists and turns. I met a good partner. I am very happy. I will never betray the fans who have supported me for 20 years. This is my condition. There may be many who are uneasy, but please give me your voices of hope. Please be excited for the follow-up reports. Please look forward to it. These are the words of Eiichiro Oda when the live action was announced back in 2017, and it implies a lot of things about Oda's view on the project. It implies that he had many opportunities to approve a live action version before, but only decided to now. It implies that he was just as cautious about making something like this as the fans were. And most importantly, it implies and basically says that he is considering the fans' response to this project above all else. From his perspective, he was given faith that it's something that would not betray the audience and asks us to give him our voices of hope in return. And me being the loyal subject to Oda-sensei that I am, that's exactly what I did. I had no idea how something like a live-action adaptation of a series as exaggerated and nonsensical as One Piece would ever work. I mean, look at this. It's not exactly the first thing that comes to mind when thinking about easily translatable anime to the real world. But I knew that if Oda was speaking this way about it, there had to be a little bit more to it than just a simple executive cash grab. Over the years, other pieces of small information started dripping out, stuff like it would be covering the East Blue Saga over 10-hour-long episodes, or the project potentially setting a new record for the highest production cost in television drama history. Promising stuff that started to make this whole thing come together in a way where I was starting to be a believer. And then the first episode script leaked. To this day, I cannot find this script leak again. I have no idea where it came from, why it was leaked years before we even got casting information. Who knows, it might have even just been a publicity stunt. But what I can tell you is that the script was really damn good. Matt Owens is the one helming this East Blue adaptation, and I can tell you that apart from just seemingly understanding the core of One Piece and the characters themselves really well, what surprised me about the script was that it wasn't just one-to-one. It made really clever and interesting rearrangements. You would think the first episode would start on Luffy, right? Either his backstory or his shenanigans with Alvida and Koby, but we actually begin the first episode with the full Roger execution and very, very early cameos by Sengoku, Kong, and Smoker. This is a rearrangement that actually makes a lot of sense, and one that is only really possible with the foreknowledge of arcs that are many hundreds of chapters down the line. Foreknowledge that, dare I say, maybe even Oda hadn't thought of yet. I know that's sacrilege, but hear me out here. There's other fun and original calls to the future in this script as well, like a completely original scene where we see what actually happened between Zoro and the member of Baroque Works who tried to recruit him. Overall, I guess what I'm trying to say is that this is clearly a writer who knows the ins and outs of One Piece, at least judging from this first episode script. And he's not here just to do a carbon copy, but maybe even elevate the source in his own way. I was thoroughly impressed by the script I read, and I was fully on the train at this point in time. I knew it could crash at any time, whether it be the casting, or the first trailer, or the show itself, but for the time being, I had a lot of faith in the people behind this. After all, and I don't think that people really have this in perspective yet, but One Piece as a brand is essentially a TV producer's goldmine. It is a grand, epic, overarching story that has an immediate hook, simple but relatable and endearing characters, and a story that spans so many arcs, so many plot lines, that you could easily get upwards of 10 to 15 seasons out of this thing. That doesn't happen in television, especially not for serious TV dramas like this. It's often for comedy shows that have already lost steam because nobody cared about the end goal of the series. For One Piece, that's basically a non-issue, and now you can see why Netflix may be willing to dump record-setting amounts of money into something that could potentially make it back for them tenfold. From my perspective, and maybe this is a little audacious to say, it feels like Netflix wants to make this their Game of Thrones, and with the content practically fully written and adapted in so many ways already, it makes it an even easier sell. So all of this leads us to today, or a day or two ago anyways, when the live-action cast has been announced for this upcoming series. This is a big one. This is a make or break for the hype of many other people, and it's something that I myself have been waiting to see ever since Netflix announced that they got a hold of this. After all, Netflix doesn't exactly have the best track record when it comes to casting their anime to live-action adaptations, and in a series like One Piece's case, these characters are so larger than life, so expressive, so animated. I knew that whatever they chose would probably piss off a lot of people. But goddamn, did they do it pretty well. I don't know who any of these people are, but wow, in terms of capturing the facial features and the essence of these characters, from what I can tell from the many photos and videos that people have dug up on the internet, and this announcement video from Netflix itself, I have a lot of confidence in these actors. They seem super genuine, super excited, and you even have the actors for Luffy and Usopp, oh my god, Usopp, getting into character in this clip.
The pirates! They're coming! I can't wait to become the Pirates King!
It's the best, man. I was not expecting to be this happy with the choices they made, and I definitely wasn't expecting the rest of the internet to be so happy either, but maybe this is what Oda meant by giving him our voices of hope. Hell, it seems like Oda himself was part of the selection process for choosing who to hire for this thing, which doesn't actually surprise me at all since it's already known that he was specifically choosing some of the anime voice actors as well. And for the people who are looking at these cast photos and saying, "Where's Sanji's hair? Why does he look like Eminem? Where's Usopp's nose?" Guys, these are cast photos. Wait for the costumes, the makeup, the prosthetics, everything else, and I guarantee you that these guys will fit right in. Of course, with all of the good, we still have to consider the concerns. It's still not a 100% done deal, and if you came from the future personally and told me that this series ended up sucking, I probably wouldn't have that hard of a time believing you. What it will really come down to are these actors' talents, and if they can communicate the core of what makes One Piece special. A lot of people think that the world building is One Piece's greatest strength, but I think it's the characters. It is a supremely character-driven series, and nailing those moments, especially in this first season, nailing Zoro's loss to Mihawk, nailing Sanji's departure from the Baratie, nailing the entire Arlong Park storyline, it will be so crucial, and it will take really good performances to actually make you care, especially from Nami, man. Nami's actress looks great, she practically looks perfect, but she really needs to deliver on those emotional scenes because Arlong Park is the arc. It is the arc that many people get fully invested into this series, and the performance she gives in that arc could very well be the deciding factor on if this show is successful or not. You also have the obvious concerns like how do you present some of these ridiculous characters and situations in a grounded way? How do you adapt some of the slapstick comedy that feels basically tailor-made for an anime? How do you do a lot of things in this series? I am sure that this writer, that these people in charge have been thinking about this every single day for the past 4 years, and I'm hoping that they have a satisfactory answer. trailer. Overall though, I am cautiously very optimistic about the future of this series. I think the writing will be good, I think the support from Netflix is there, I think the cast and the crew all really care about what they're making. This doesn't feel like an arbitrary project by Netflix higher-ups. All we can do now is give our voices of hope and wait for that first trailer. That's been all from me though, guys. Let me know what you think about this whole project in the comments below, whether you're excited or nervous or downright spiteful. And if you want to talk to me about it, you can join the Discord server in the description below. Thank you all for watching. I love you all, and I will see you in the next video.